This has Come to Daddy with Reuben K, the podcast for people who love their parents at a distance. In other news, if anyone knows the exact distance a cannon can reach, please let me know. I'm not saying I've got daddy issues, but I only found out yesterday in yoga that child's pose isn't a thumb in your mouth and asking for help to use the big boy toilet. I'm here at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival with all the most wonderful people in the world who I love dearly, which is why my producer Amanda is not here. She's in London and it's awful. Amanda, how are you doing in London? We do miss you. How are the pugs? How's your wonderful pixie mullet?
I mean, technically my hairdresser said it's called a mullet hawk, but I have issues with cultural appropriation because I'm neither working class American or Native American. So let's go with pixie hawk. I mean, I'm not a pixie either, but I think perhaps that's less politically challenging. But can I just say, this is also coming from a man who, when his hair gets long, looks like Princess Diana. So ask him, if you bump into him in the street, say to him, do your "there are three people in this marriage" impression. And now they've started drilling next door, which is a good cue for me to stop waffling. Sorry about this, I'll stop. So love us, like us, mainly love and like Reuben, otherwise he gets pretty jealous.
That's lovely, Amanda, but back to us. Let's get into it. My guest today is a comedy powerhouse. A woman who I have said could turn me heterosexual for 3.5 minutes before I slingshot back to cock.
Ouch.
It's the delicious Helen Bauer. Come to Daddy.
Hello, I love coming in, Daddy. No, that was not yeah. Did I actually? What? No. You cannot interview someone on the last week of a comedy festival and expect any of this to make sense.
None of it will be usable.
This is actually evil.
We're not even plugged in.
We're not? Wait,
No.
am I just here so you can fill my diary?
Yeah.
That's so sad. Why does this keep happening? Well, thank you for having me. I'm having a lovely time so far.
It's a joy and a pleasure and a privilege. Hey, so Come to Daddy is a podcast where I ask comedians about their parents and how that influences their comedy
Yeah, you
and
do.
their life.
Yeah, you do.
We start off real simple.
Oh, God.
Explain to the listeners what your childhood bedroom would be like.
Would be like, or
No,
was like.
is
As like,
correct.
come on.
Explain to go. Okay, it's new. I'm new at this.
Sorry, it's actually a new thing. This podcasting's a new thing. No comedian's ever done it before. Okay, you're going to be enchanted by this. I was like obsessed with having like the latest room all the time, but never got it. So I would accessorize it myself.
Great.
The main era, yellow and orange. Bright yellow, bright orange.
They don't go together.
Disney cutouts from a calendar.
Terrifying.
All over the wall covered in blue tack.
Yeah, it's feeling like this should be the only thing that's missing is red thread. Like tying it. I will have Jasmine's eyes, and I will have Ariel's hair, and I will have.
It was manic. And then like there was a cool shop in a town quite close to where I grew up, and they sold those like spirals and wind chimes and things with little mirrors on them, and it was like run by like an older white woman who was like super holistic for the area. And oh my God, I lent in way too hard. It was just overstuffed with things, and I had a sink in my room, just the sink.
Can I say this? My mind was opened when I finally found sinks in bedrooms in the UK. I must have a sink in my bedroom.
Just the sink, nothing else.
Yeah, just a tap. You can give yourself a little spritz on the face. You can get a little glass of cold water. And worst comes to worst, you can pee.
I weed in it all the time.
Fun.
All the time. Because I was a tall kid.
Yeah.
So I could like get one leg over and like enough minge to get it in. Like my parents must have known that.
Is that
floorboards underneath it were like
dripping.
disintegrating.
It was like alien blood, just like eating away at it. I also think that the next title of your show, Helen Bauer, Just Enough Minge.
Just enough minge over it. Because for okay, if you've got a vagina to piss in a sink, like you do have to think for an extra second.
I think in many ways there should be a female urinal, but you have to design it so that it comes out around and forward, like the bow of a ship, but like even like so it sort of cradles under the sea.
Yeah.
The sea, where a C string would go, like a G string, but a C
I've
string.
used a urine like successfully before.
Yeah, but you, and I'm going to say this with so much love, you're unique.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That did not feel like it was with love. But just in case anyone's listening who does want to use urinal, what you do is you press yourself flat against the wall and don't push. Let it come out as a stream.
Great.
because then it just goes straight down.
And if you push it,
I think if you pushed and you sort of like, it might go out and then like splash back. Like, you know, when you vomit, but you've got your hand up because you think it's a cough.
Familiar.
Like, and then it flicks back in your face when you're drunk. Like, so not like, you want to just like let it trickle down. Kleenex, 2 dabs on the clear, off you pop. Like, perfect. It works for me. It works for everybody's different.
Everyone's different. Everyone's body is a wonderland, and everyone's voice is valid.
Thank you. Now I'm thinking I didn't have any toilet roll in my bedroom growing up. What was I wiping myself with?
So what were you dabbing? What were your 2 dabs?
Yeah, what was I wiping?
What were you wiping with? What were you wiping with? We know what you were wiping. What were you wiping with?
Oh, it would have been like yesterday's knickers maybe or something. It must have been.
Or one really sad, terrified Barbie sitting by the sink.
This is when we find out my mum's like, you just don't, not with the Barbie. I'm not being that minging. I refuse to be
I'm
that
the
minging.
wiping Barbie.
I'm trying to rebrand myself. I don't want to be like, you know Helen Bauer, the comedian, the minger. Like, I don't want that for me anymore. I don't know what I want to rebrand as like Helen, super kind, super gentle, super fun.
Hey, what are the names of your parents?
Anne and Michael.
Anne and Michael?
Yeah.
Is that your middle name named after mum?
Yeah.
Named after mum?
Named after mum. Named after mother.
Would they have named you Michael if you had been a boy?
No, it was going to be Lyle.
Oh my God. Now I can't think of you.
Oh, don't. I know. Lyle Bauer, like, what the fuck?
No, but serial
or
killer.
Lawrence. And I'm really hoping it would have gone for Lawrence. Then I could have been a Laurie.
Yeah.
And Laurie's cute.
Laurie Bauer.
Laurie, come on.
Laurie Bauer's cute. Lyle Bauer has an unmarked van with candy in it.
Lyle Bauer.
I
think it's because there's a Lyle like on my mum's side a bit back.
That's not a reason to call someone Lyle.
If I was, I think I settled on Helen because my dad could spell it. But my mum originally wanted like Madeline or like Juliet or something. But my dad's just not like, he's not academic.
No.
Couldn't get his head around it. So they were like, Helen will do.
What were their jobs?
My dad works in sewage.
Great.
Works at a shit farm. And my mum is a jack of all trades. She's gone through a lot of obscure jobs.
Right.
Currently, she is. She's in her
curry.
best era, actually. She is a speech and language festival adjudicator. Do you have that thing here? Like, it's like, so like competitions that children can do as extracurricular activities,
like,
mainly children.
Like enunciation and poem
So
recitals.
poetry recitals, choral verse speaking. But you can do duologues, you can act out. There can be improv rounds.
What's a choral
Choral speaking is sort of like, it's like a choir for a poem. And it's like read out in like, and you're looking, it sounds really weird, but I grew up doing choral speaking.
Gay.
I grew up doing choral speaking. My mum was a big gay ally.
As some of you do.
The best sex she ever had was a gay man. She told me that.
We have to get into that. But hang on. So there's a choral soundscape. They're doing like, is it just them speaking the words? Or are they all doing like the sounds and the birds and the things? And
you can do the sounds and the birds as well. You can also some people can like whisper things or like be like, the background, and then you sort of like bring a poem to life. Or you can do it with a passage of prose as well.
That sounds lovely.
And it's like that
does sound really nice.
It's a thing.
As long as they don't use any religious texts, I think it sounds lovely. The minute they do religious texts, it becomes weird.
No, it does get weird. So she adjudicates those in like different places around the world now, actually.
Oh, amazing.
She just did it in like Hong Kong.
Wow.
Insanely cool.
That is very cool.
Like she's just like arrived in her 70s and she's like, I'm going to Hong Kong to judge children reading poetry.
Bye, bitches.
Peace
Fuck
out.
yourselves. Will Anne and Michael listen to this? Do they consume your work?
My mother does. They're divorced now.
With partners or?
My dad's got a girlfriend. My mother is, oh God, just men, Helen, men. She knows what she wants and she will not settle for second best.
No.
And we kind of love to see it.
Love that.
We kind of love to see it, Anne. So she's living her best life. Will they listen? My mum might. Hi, mummy, if you're listening. She listens to things. She knows what podcasts are. Like my dad.
Not a clue.
Like
How
not
old
a
is
clue.
Michael?
Michael's 73.
How old's the girlfriend?
I think she's 68, but I think she said she was like 58. To the
Okay.
point where I'm like, come on, Michael, this is better that she's 68.
At which point does lying about your age just like not matter anymore? Like you're 68 and you go, no, I am a spry little girl of 58. Like
Right.
it's still 2 years off 60. It's all a bit of a blancmange.
Like, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Honestly, it is incredible. He's a really nice man. Like, he's not like, he's nice, he's generous, but I'm like, what? Like, these women are like international ex-lawyers. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And this man has had 3 jobs in his entire life.
And he's a sewage worker.
Sewage since he was 24. Before
And
that, he was a lawnmower at a zoo.
He must have a magic dick.
And then there's got to be something. I mean, I came out of it. I'm pretty
Michael,
special.
yeah, right. Right? Just God's super soaker. Do we have that? Do you have them in the UK?
Super Soakers, 100%.
You do.
I had a Super Soaker 3000.
Yeah.
Well, my brother had 2, and one of them was technically mine.
What do you think their parenting style was like with you?
Not.
You seem happy.
Not like I got away. I got to do whatever I wanted.
Look at that face. It's the face of a psychopath.
Well, because they were they were working.
Yeah, and where do you sit in the chronology of your
I'm in the-
siblings?
I'm in the middle, and it's literally like my brother. So I've got a big brother called Ted. 2 years
Ted?
later, Ted.
Ted. You got a big Ted.
I got a big Ted. 2 years later, me. 2 years later, my little sister. But
Who does not get a name, I noticed.
oh, Marianne. Sweet Marianne, which is a great name, by the way, and something
Yeah,
I will
that is.
always be slightly annoyed about. Like Marianne, Helen. Come on, Anne. I know Michael had nothing to do with the naming. So they basically, my brother had some like health stuff when he was younger. My sister is like she's got lots of learning difficulties and was like a selective mute when I was younger. So like, they
Was she a selective mute, or did you just not shut up?
Why does everyone say that? Because that's not like, it's not, someone doesn't become like a selective mute because their siblings are bawdy and chatty. Bawdy. I was a bawdy child. But like, they just, through the nature of my siblings having, I think particularly my younger sister, needing a lot of parenting, particularly during like the 90s. I know things are like a lot better now, people with like learning difficulties, not perfect, but like there was nothing set up in our area for it, right? So my mum had to go to battle to like get everything sorted, like trained as a special educational needs teacher in a school, like really like had to go for it. My dad was away at different sewage plants, helping people sort out poo on the plant. I'm not joking. But then because I, for like want of a better term, didn't have those additional needs, I just went to the local schools where my siblings went to different schools. My sister went to a special needs school. My brother went to another school for like separate reasons. So I would walk myself to school and I would come home and people would come back later and my school would finish early.
I was a lot of independence.
I just tooted along. I had amazing friends that lived on my road. I was very much like, and my mum is, and I got it so weird because I've got a bit about it in my show. I was raised by liberal hippies. My mum was always like, you're not going to be defined by a letter on a piece of paper. You can study hard for these exams, but I know you'll fall on your feet. You do you, babe. You do you. So
I love that. Thank you, Anne.
Like, honestly, my friends can remember it sometimes, like her coming in when they'd be over being like, oh God, you're not all studying, trying to get into university, are you? Just like, she studied dance at Lancaster. Like, she's like that era. So yeah, I just did whatever I fucking wanted. And like, yeah, I would try really hard, but just not, I wasn't in top sets for things. Like, I managed to scrape past so I could get into college, but deep down, I always wanted to be an actor. Like, really wanted to be. But my mum decided to, oh God, this is going to make my family sound so mental. My mum decided for extra money, she was going to start running a drama school from our living room when I was 4 years old.
That sounds perfect for this podcast. And
Really?
Quite the norm.
The Anne Bauer School of Drama.
Stop, that's very good.
It's incredible. Do you know how she set it up? Do you know how she started?
Tell me.
She re-recorded our voicemail message from hello, you've reached the Bauer family to hello, you've reached the Bauer family and the Anne Bauer School of Drama. Slay, Anne.
So good.
That's my mother.
And that's why she's a boss.
And Bauer School of Drama. It was run from our living room. My entire time there, from the age of 4 to 18, I was in it. My brother and sister were chucked out eventually, or they left.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not good enough.
Was that also the only time your mum spent time with you?
Maybe. That and a couple of very tense shopping trips we would go on. I was not an easy teenager either.
No, I can understand that. I'm the same. I was not an easy teenager.
I was a dream at school. I was so lovely to my friends. I was so lovely
And
at my friends' parents'
did the
house.
teachers love you?
Yeah, for the most part.
You're a delight in the class.
Yeah.
Even though you're not doing very well, all your friends' parents go, "Oh, you're a dream child."
Yeah. Well, a couple of my friends' parents thought I was too loud and annoying.
No, that's fine.
Which always
bad
happens.
people.
But I would come home and I'd be like, I'd take it all out.
Oh, and what were the shopping trips with mum like?
Oh God, I was a big kid. I'm 6'1". I've got really large feet, and they just didn't do my sizes, and they were just tense. They were really tense. Like,
also, how do you deal with it? Because you don't want to tell a child when you're coming with that, they're coming out with their own body shaming, their own body ideals, but they're trying to be kind. But really, because of that, almost the circumnavigation makes it worse.
And that's the thing. My mum's super liberal. She doesn't want but just the way that we would. Oh God, I remember so clearly we'd have to drive to a different town. I'm from Fleet, which is a small town in northeast Hampshire, but we'd go to Reading, which is our biggest city close.
Right.
And there'd be more shops there. But I came out of the changing room. This was the first shop of the day. And we just had to get a top and jeans or something. And I was like, oh, this looks nice. And just really wanted it to be done with. And my mum was like, wait, no, that's a slimming mirror, that is. You do not look like that. And then I'm just like, okay, well, leave it. And she's like, no, we have to tell someone this is not appropriate. So then she's gone and told someone. And I'm just going Mummy, no. And she's like, she is not that thin. And I'm just there going, oh, I'm going to kill myself. I actually will. Just sweat pouring down my back and and then the whole day, I wouldn't let go of it. She wouldn't let go of it. And we're just and we're both coming from the right place.
Yeah,
she's not being a bad person.
No, just the wrong vocab.
Yeah, and we would just be in the car together and just be shitty with each other, not on purpose. Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare. But I think because we did have such little time together, and I really, I was very much doing my own thing at school. I didn't even have her at parents' evenings.
Yeah.
I super just did it myself.
Was your dad also kind of as involved with you as a parent as your mum?
My dad's really lovely. He is autistic as well. So we're not I really love my dad. I do, but we've not he's never hugged me. Or anything,
sure.
And
it was is it a handshake thing, a pat on the shoulder?
Oh,
and a
like
good
a
work
dog,
champ?
like a dog.
Right.
And if I cry, he I'm not joking. In January this year, I was at his flat that he rents, and my brother was there as well, just coincidentally. And my brother was just we were just being siblings with each other and winding each other up about something. And then my brother was just annoying me to the point where I was like, I'm going to cry. I can feel it. And then I went to start crying. And we just heard my dad go, I'm going to my girlfriend's. And grabbed his bag. This 73-year-old man.
He has a go bag in case you show emotion.
A panic go bag for an open grab. And he was fucking gone. And we didn't see him for 24 hours. Just because I went...
He didn't even use the door, just a dad-shaped hole in the wall and a spinning yikes sign.
And you have to understand, I literally 5 minutes before that, I'd been like, well, what are you doing today, Dad? And he was like, just pottering about here. He did not have a plan. He's so terrified.
What would happen if you cried in front of him?
I have.
What does he do?
Oh my God. Freaks out, makes a weird joke about how I'm just like my mother. He does it. He honestly can't look me in the eye. It's like I'm a dog, and he's like, there. Oh, do you want? I'll make a tea. Once I was crying, and he made a tea because he was panicking because he knows it's something people do, and he made a peppermint tea, and he was like, do you need milk? Do you take milk in your tea? And I was like, come on, Michael, we can't be at this level. We can't.
One of my friends'
dads.
That's
him doing his best.
That's milk and peppermint tea.
I know.
One of my friend's dads is a bit like that with emotion, and my friend was having a bit of a cry in her bedroom, and he knocked on her door and went, is somebody blubbing in there? Is somebody blubbing in there? How funny are dads when people cry?
Oh my, that.
The vocab we give men around how to deal with emotion is insane.
But he can't be emotional for himself either.
No.
Like, I remember when my parents were getting divorced. They did it when I was an adult, right? I was in my
Right, how old?
late 20s, 28, something like that. 26, 27, 28. And like my mum had told me, but she told me that like dad didn't want us to know yet, but she wanted us to know, right? So then
Gold.
eventually it was like a month later and I was on the phone with her and I was like, can you just please tell him I know? Because this feels really like, it's hurting my heart that he would be hurting. Because she was the one that called it. That like, and then no one's reached out. Oh my God. And then I was like, she was like, okay, fine, I'll tell him. She told him. And then I rang him and I was like, oh, just to say, like, I know and I'm so sorry about you and mum. Like, I hope it's all okay. Like, can I do anything? And oh God, he just couldn't handle it. Like, he clearly had been upset. And all he could, he genuinely believes the reason that she divorced him is because she went to book club and one of the women there taught her the phrase mansplaining and there was nothing he could do. And it's like,
Nothing
do you
you
not
could do.
think it was like the 25 years of no eye contact or asking her how her day was? Like, you don't want to like consider any of that. And it's like, no, this phrase mansplaining came in.
If anything, he should explain to her why that had an issue and an effect on the marriage. Because he thought about just explaining to her why the term mansplaining is.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
Is your family British?
Mm-hmm.
What's the part of it? Bauer isn't
like,
a British
Bauer
name.
is like German, but like from before my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, coincidentally, I did live in Germany and I
Oh,
did
where?
like Berlin.
Right.
And I do speak German. And I know I look super German, but it was like,
Do you speak German like fluently?
mm-hmm.
Oh,
I lived there
huge. For how long?
3 years.
3 years.
I also like languages. I can't write in any
I
language.
can
can't
speak. You
write
can put you in
English.
3 weeks and you're in.
I can talk.
It says here that you started your comedy career in Germany.
Yeah. Oh, my
What's that?
stand-up comedy career.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through a phase after school of like making sketches and putting them on YouTube, which I'm hoping have all been taken down now.
Oh, really?
With a couple of mates from school who are now battle rappers. Shout out Marlo and Shuffle Tea. We all go through phases.
I'd never heard the term battle rappers before, and I know exactly what it is.
It's really good, isn't
really
it?
good.
It's fun.
So you start up. What is the first gig? What's the first gig in Germany?
Monday Night Mike's at Kleinort
Oh yeah,
in
stimmt.
Neukölln. And it is it's changed now because the scene's a lot bigger. This is 2015.
Right.
A lot smaller, a lot more chill, and 7 minutes each. And I was one of those absolute fucks that everyone hates. Like, I genuinely thought I was just funny. So I was like,
No.
I'll go on and I'll riff. I'm not joking. The arrogance, the fucking arrogance. And also, like, this is
7
Germany
minutes is
in
a long
2015. You
time.
can smoke inside
Yeah.
still, right? But we would even smoke on stage.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any idea how hard it is to die and to take a drag of how long that takes? And I was like, you
Yes.
know what's funny? I'll talk about my heartbreak. Because I'd had my heart broken before I moved to Germany,
Sure.
right? And
It's
I played
standard comedy fodder.
Share Believe out loud from my phone down the microphone to fill time. I'm not joking. It was mad.
I would see this set now.
I wish the thing is, I was so bad, and now the entire scene, which at that point was 25 people, has told me how fucking terrible I was. But they were so desperate for a woman because they only had 4 women on the scene at that point, that I came back and they'd clearly all been like making fun of me. I came off and they went, best set ever, you're so funny. It was like loads of Americans. You gotta come back next week. And then like 2 months later, they were like, you were the worst thing we'd ever seen, but we just needed you. Which thank God they were so nice and so
That is
welcoming.
true. That is
Like, they could have been an
true.
asshole of a scene that were like,
Yeah.
fuck off. But they were just so desperate for a new voice. And it was new. It was new.
Careful what you wish for.
But I gigged there like the whole time for like a
Hmm.
year and a half. And then I still go back and do shows there.
Amazing.
I love it.
How do your parents feel? Your parents feature in your stand-up. I've
Yeah,
seen
my
it.
mum is the one that gets the hit.
How does she feel about it?
She's given me a carte blanche, in her words,
Has she?
which is mad, isn't it?
That
to give
is
your kid a
mad.
carte blanche that early on. But this is the thing. We have such a difficult relationship, but she's so like, do whatever, you do you. She's like, I'm not going to censor your story.
That's interesting.
Isn't it amazing?
Because I'm saying some stuff about mum in this that none of it is untrue and none of it is unflattering. But there's a joke in the show, which is my mum was born to have gay kids. I'm gay, my brother's gay. Medically speaking, her clitoris is a disco ball. Right?
Great joke.
Thank you very much. But like, I can't imagine in any other profession, that a parent would be like, oh, my son's an accountant and part of his job is telling everyone at work that my clitoris is a disco ball for professional advancement. And I go, and she's like, it's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
I wrote a joke last year, and I sent it to Mum to be like, Mum, I'm really sorry. This is the joke. What do you think about it?
You sent them written down?
I said, I'm just getting clearance on this because this one I'm not sure of. And it was, I called my parents' marriage Schrodinger's marriage because neither of them knew if they were alive or dead until they were out of it. Which is fucking rough.
My mum would love that joke.
And my mum literally wrote back, great joke, works on all levels. Use it.
See, we get the mums we need.
Also, your mum started a drama school.
I know.
She understands what the artist goes through.
She does. She also is into the arts.
Does she have notes?
So
does she give you notes? That's a yes.
She's only seen me 4 times because I don't only because I don't want her there.
But you're so prolific. Has your dad seen your show?
Once. Not a show. He came to me recording live at the Apollo and he brought 2 sausage rolls in case he got hungry. I'm not joking. He also said no to coming the first 3 times I asked him because him and his then girlfriend had a holiday booked for Devon. But my mum came to live at the Apollo. She's seen me do the second show at the Soho Theatre.
Mm.
The first show, no, she never saw it. I sent her a voice recording before I did it in Edinburgh, though.
Oh, wow.
Because that I did talk about the Anne Bauer School of Drama. I think I just
Is it still running the Anne Bauer?
No,
they're
it's
taking
not.
clients.
She phased that out. She was like, but I'm not going to deny a generation my expertise. So she just stopped taking on younger and younger classes until they were aged out.
I'm not going to deny a generation.
It was a big thing in our town, the Anne Bauer School of Drama. It was to the point where I'm in Melbourne right now and an alumni came to the show who just happened to live here for a year.
Incredible work.
Anne Bauer power, baby.
Anne Bauer power.
But yeah, they don't, I don't know. I don't really want them there massively, but they watch things on TV.
Yeah.
And I think my mum, if I wanted her to come, she would be there. I just think it's a bit uncomfortable.
What's the relationship with them like now?
Between the two of them, fine.
Yeah.
They talk all the time. I think it's just the need of having a sibling with special needs, like parents do have to communicate differently, and also they're friendly, nothing truly nasty happened,
Yeah. Hey, thank you for coming on to Come to Daddy. We've got a couple of last gauntlets, hurdles in this steeplechase.
Holy shit, here we go.
It's called the pick and mix.
Oh my God.
It's where you get to dive a hand, a finger, a wrist, an extremity into a little jumble of memories and pick out 2 little memories to tantalize us, to tease us, to sum up your entire experience as a child. Pick and mix, pick and mix. It's time for us to do pick and mix.
Family hellholes, please.
Your first pick is family hellholes.
Family hellholes.
Got any recollections of family vacations?
Shoot.
We would go on the most epic family holidays, huge family holidays, but my dad wouldn't be organized with the children in mind. Does that make sense? We wouldn't go to theme parks or to the beach. It was very much what Michael thought would be interesting. And my mother was very keen on art galleries and like liberal parents.
Anytime in a holiday someone says the words interesting, I'm like, fuck off. This is abuse. Take me to a water park, not an art gallery.
I wish it was just art galleries. The art galleries was one level of it. Well, my dad would just race through and just sit and have a coffee at the end as quickly as he could by himself. We went to death camps.
What?
I went to a prisoner of war camp. Changi prison.
You went to Changi
in
prison.
Singapore, a Japanese prisoner of war camp. And you've got to remember, I was going on family holidays during the noughties. So it wasn't it was just historical information written out in horrific pictures. This is when the world was panicking that they weren't exciting enough for children to learn about history. So they went interactive museums, which meant that my father would put me, my terrified little sister, and my mad brother in a come into this room and learn what it was like to be a Japanese prisoner of war. And not good. Not good. Turn the lights off and start screaming at us. Like, it was insane. Trench experiences, blitz experiences. Like,
here's a stress position.
oh my
Like,
God. And then with my mother, who's so like otherworldly as well, being like, oh, Helen's having a panic attack at the trench experience. That's because you were in the trenches in another life, my love. I can tell you that for nothing. Oh, mummy, which side? I can't tell you. Like really, like, just darkness. And then I knew it was weird because I'd come back, and then like that first day back, everyone's like, what did you do in your summer holidays? And everyone was like, Alicante, Benidorm, and like, which is like southern Spain. And then I'd have to be like, Dachau. Like, it's so... Oh God, it was fucking mad. It was so mad.
That may be one of the wildest family hellhole stories we've had on this podcast.
And that's every year.
No, it's so unfair.
It's so unfair.
Go for it.
Because I was allowed to do anything I wanted, and I wasn't watched. I was like, I just literally like did my own thing, right?
Yep.
Like, picked my own subjects at school. Didn't matter if I did well or not. Like, I had to pick, like, did whatever. And then for some reason, even though I was such a nice girl, my mum was so sure that if I had a boy in my bedroom, I would get pregnant.
Yeah,
And
I see it.
But I genuinely, like, wasn't. I was like such a, like, I turned 16. I was like, when you're 16, you lose your virginity. So I found a guy, and I was like, you're a virgin as well. We're going to do this, and we're just going to, like, figure it out together. And it was just for that one night. So I could lose my virginity, and I could tick that box. Like, I was like, organized with it. And yes, once.
It's a very German way to lose your virginity.
Oh, it's so Deutsch.
Yeah.
So Deutsch. Heute machen wir einfach. And then, but like, I really wasn't, but like, all my friends, for some reason, their parents were just super chill with it. We were in a big group of friends that I'd been in since we were like 4 years old, right?
You can say commune.
We were in a commune. And it's like,
We all
why
breastfed each
can
other.
he not come into my room? What am I going to do? And it made me feel like, I don't know. It was like, there was like one rule put on me, and I fucking hated it so much. I hated it so much.
Oh.
Because it made me like feel like I do everything. You trust me to cook in the evenings by myself, like take myself to school.
What it does is it reframes all of that as, oh, it's not that you believe in me, it's that you're neglecting me because you're putting this one rule on me, which means you don't trust me.
And this is the one that I care about.
Yeah.
Because I wish you put other rules in. Like, looking back, I'm like, I wish that there'd been like other things put in place. And I'm like, and this is the one. I genuinely think it's because Chris was once caught in my underwear outside my house. But he was gay. My mum told me he was gay because I was in love with him in year 8. And she had to tell me. She was like, he's not going to go out with you. I know you've asked him like 4 times
He's in your
now,
underwear.
but he is gay, Helen.
But that was when you wanted to lose your virginity too?
No, I picked a different one. By that point, I
Okay.
knew. Chris hadn't come out to me. I don't think he knew, but my mum was like, you've got to stop this pining over this boy. You don't have a connection because you both know the lyrics to Shakira. He knows the lyrics to Shakira for a very different reason. But I was so in love with him. Yeah, I was so in love.
That's amazing. We had the same thing happen to me in high school.
No.
That the girl who I was like, I was best friends with, but wasn't out with, but was also kind of like still a little bit in love with. Her name was
Yeah.
Bronwyn.
Oh, Bronwyn.
And she was talking to her grandmother.
Bronwyn.
And Bron and her grandmother were talking. Bron told me this later. It's like, oh, yes. Well, she was telling me, telling my nan, oh, this boy, I think he likes me. He hangs around with me, blah, 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 blah. He's like this and he does this. And her gran just went, he's a faggot, dear.
Just from a description?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I had bleach blonde hair, tweezed eyebrows, and a tongue piercing at like
And did Bronwyn have
17.
any idea?
Well, after that point, she
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that would, yeah. My mum had to tell me about 6 times though. I was like, no, you don't understand. We've got a connection. He went to prom with me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he
as
had to.
protection.
Yeah. I'm the protection.
You're like your bodyguard.
Here comes Big Helen with a big broad back. Chris just holding on
I'll
behind
take
me.
a bullet for you, cunt. No, you're the bodyguard. It's a lovely retelling of the Whitney Houston movie, and you're Kevin Costner.
But then it's like, if we know he's gay, why can't he be in my room?
Right.
Like, let Chris in. What's he gonna do? Sing me a lovely song?
And you bottled it. Hey, we have one last thing.
Okay.
One
let's do it.
last little task for you. And this is called Shall I Be Mother?
Shall I be mother?
This is where you look into my eyes and imagine I am Michael or Anne or an odd non-binary Frankenstein of the two?
Non-binary Frankenstein of the two, please.
Correct choice. And you speak from your heart, looking into my eyes. What would you say to them now?
This is really tricky because, I was making fun of my dad earlier for not being able to be like emotional, vulnerable. I actually also have that, it turns out. I want to say I'm sorry for being a shit in my teenage years, but I'm also working through stuff in therapy still, so I don't actually know what to say to you right now, non-binary mix of the two thing. So can I come back on this podcast in ideally a year, but let's be honest, probably 4 years, because I will take breaks due to financial situations from therapy, and then we'll sort it out then, and hopefully they haven't popped it by then. But if they had, then I'll do the classic thing of, instead of being annoyed at them, I'll mourn the fact I never made the effort at the time. Thank you for having me. I've had a lovely time. Can I go for a cigarette now? That was a lot.
That was a lot. It was brilliant, though. I just did a small fart.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, panic.
A lot of panic. Hey, Helen and Bauer, where can our listeners find more of you?
Just online, I think. Just your listeners are everywhere, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So just go on my Instagram. That's the one I use. It's Helen Bauer, spelled the German way, Bauer. And just follow me there, and everything I do will be on there.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And as usual, you can find me, Reuben K, right behind you. Made you look. Thank you for coming to Daddy Helen Bauer.
Thank you, Daddy.